All right. We're on to this tree. And we don't know anything about any of these people. So, not really sure what to do. I assume this is the order because that's the order that they're listed in his obituary, which I think is normally supposed to be from oldest to youngest. So we can figure that out, I presume. Let's just start searching for stuff. What was the... Hold on. Barb and Sharon Williams. Okay. Let's go Barb then. Barb Williams is a motivational speaker, and she has a website that explains the services she offers. Her company's address listed as Coconut Grove, Florida. Her story will surprise you, uplift you, then energize you. Greta Jones, WQTV12, Kikiwa Falls Gazette. Am I going to have to put all of these in my fucking thing? Overcoming Adversity, Kikiwa Falls Gazette, Isabel Crosby. Don't care about that. There's no Kikiwa Falls anywhere in the world. Instead, a man named Chris Elmsworth has invented a small-town newspaper as a conceptual art piece. Kikiwa Falls Gazette is a series of online articles about small restaurants, shows, and other tourist attractions all across the United States, presented as a monthly newspaper of small-town America. What makes the Kikiwa Falls Gazette a bit strange is that amongst the other articles detailing real locations are occasional stories that present outlandish, inflammatory concepts in extremely mundane ways. For example, on the homepage right now is an article titled, Mermaids Strike Back Against Lobster Farms. Is this particularly inflammatory? That, using very dry language, details the idea that mermaids in Maine have begun to unionize in support of better benefits. There are no punchlines, and the articles are not marked any differently from the rest. Fortunately, each current issue of the paper is presented on the homepage or no archives. Okay. That's whatever. What was the other one? Book Barb for corporate retreats, church events, or even school assemblies. So she didn't realize that this person was satirizing her. That's terrible. Greta Jones is, according to a flyer in your possession, the morning news anchor for a channel called WQTV12. Unfortunately, WQTV12 has no online presence whatsoever. You do find it listed on a giant list of television call signs next to the city Springfield, Effingham County. Illinois. Springfield, Georgia. Different channels available there. The list seems to only feature broadcasts with female news anchors. Cringe. Person who runs the website has ranked each using 3 categories, none are relevant to journalism. That's bad. Channel 12, Greta Flores. Greta Jones before her divorce. Compared to the ordeal you've gone through to simply figure out her current name, it's way easier than you expect to find a website of her accomplishments. She was apparently an MC for an all-female speaking tour in 1977. Storytellers of Sisterhood, the Mothers and Daughters of Earth. You do a search for it. It seems some of the stories were compiled into a book titled 25 Stories of Sisterhood by Ayla Hale. Anthology of stories told on a few different Sisters of Storyhood tours. It contains direct transcripts of most well-received stories told on stage. Ayla Hale is the editor, not the sole author. One of the stories by Barb Williams has been added to my evidence. Okay. Knew that one was there. Where's the other piece of evidence? Here we go. What was the difference between Sherry the Brat and Sharon? Oh, hold on. Transcripts of a story she told on stage published by a book. Sherry. Oh, okay, so her sister goes by Sherry. Fuck. Nothing. Okay. Just making sure I'm testing all my leads. 2 16-year-old girls. My sister Sherry was a brat, always sulking, often disobedient, never on time. She borrowed things without asking and even ran away from home only to sneak back the next day like nothing had changed. My daughter, Sharon, on the other hand, was a beautiful person. She had excellent marks in school, was intensely artistic and creative, and even volunteered at an animal rescue. Okay, Sharon is... Wait, what the fuck? Oh! I understand this now. Okay. Two girls until she shifts the narrative. My daughter, Sharon, on the other hand, was a beautiful person. She had excellent marks in school, was intensely artistic and creative, and even volunteered in an animal rescue. She continues to tell stories of the two girls until she shifts the narrative. What was the difference between Sherry, the brat, and Sharon, the beauty? Is it nature, nurture, a better education, different opportunities? The answer is nothing. There was no difference because my sister and my daughter are the same girl. Barb reveals that her daughter was a result of an unexpected pregnancy when she was only 15. I met a boy at a county fair. Unlike us, he lived in the nice part of town. He went to the good school. To a teenage girl, it felt like a fairy tale, but there were boxes all over his house. He was moving in 3 days. Those 3 days were heaven to me. The final night, he surprised me. He told me he could actually see me again soon. He planned to return to visit his grandparents. Thought I was giving him a reason to keep his promise. I never saw him again, and when I finally got desperate enough to ask around, a friend of a friend told me he hadn't even given me his real last name. Barb also talks about when she found out she was pregnant. I was convinced my life was over, but my parents, they took charge. I had to live at home, I had to work a part-time job, but they removed the burden of motherhood. I managed to scrape out a degree in English, and as far as my daughter was concerned, I was her much older sister. Barb uses the story to come to a conclusion. When I was younger, I thought my sister was the brat. I wasn't wrong, but she ran away from home to work at that animal shelter. She borrowed my clothes for presentations at school, and her creativity allowed her to open up Sherry's hair. Ooh. It took me far too long to realize the beauty was always there too. In fact, the brat and the beauty exist in all of us. It was my inner brat that kept me blind to the truth, and I'd like to say it's the beauty in me that's finally able to see what I was missing. I implore you to call upon the beauties in yourself to take, the beauties in yourselves whenever the brat tries to take hold. There's a Sherry's Hair in Orlando. The owner of the business is listed as Sherry Yastremski. Sherry has a large van. On the weekend she can bring the style of Brittany, Christina, or even Rachel to your door. The About Sherry section is very long, presented in one paragraph with multiple run-on sentences and no pictures. You get the sense that if she were to do your hair, she'd be doing a lot of talking. It mentions that her husband, Pete, was her late husband's college roommate. Oh god, her life spiraled. Girl. This is a Laura Palmer story if there ever was one. Jeez. She had never spent any significant time together until she became a widow, and they built a charity together. They left the charity behind because it was growing beyond their ability to run it. She brags about her kids, Tony, Mark, and Cricket. Her oldest, Tony, seems to get the short end of the stick. Yastrimsky. Tony, Mark, and Cricket. Her oldest, Tony, seems to get the short end of the stick. Oh, I had this wrong. This is devilish right here. Is having the oldest be right here, then youngest there, and then another youngest there. Ooh, that's evil. That's vile. Okay. Straight A student. Mark, on the other end, multiple... Okay, I need to... Hairdresser. Okay. I don't know if this is right. Change your last name to York because it's easier to pronounce. Okay, so cricket is this one. And this makes it Mark and Anthony. We don't know their actual last name here. Liberty Library. Liberty Library is a children's show filmed at a studio in Orlando, Florida. It's been on the air since 1991. In the show, multiple adults and children interact with different animal puppets in a small town called Liberty. Unlike some other popular shows involving non-human performers, this one isn't funded by the public. Instead, it's paid for by donations from a business related to education. This includes textbook manufacturers like Roottrees, tutoring companies such as EDUC82U, Arithmetic math publishing company, blah, blah, blah. Schools were complaining that the two editions seem remarkably similar, yet Arithmetic was charging almost double for one newer edition than they were for the previous one. I've been there. Between two books, there were only 16 total changes. The most notable was that the cover was changed from a picture of a water droplet creating concentric rings on a lake to a close-up of a feather. The other 15 were all instances of changing fourth to fifth. This led to a geometry problem where the book asked students to calculate the fifth side of a rectangle. Nobody associated with Arithmetic seems related. Okay. What is EDUC82U? It's a tutoring service. They have a deal with Liberty Library, features some of the actors from the show and pictures on their website. According to this site, they actually provide tutoring for all of the actors and actresses on the show to accommodate their shooting schedules. Included is Cricket York, who is seen in a photo labeled Cricket and her brothers ready to learn from one of our talented tutors. You don't see much else about EDUC82U, except there seems to be a small subsection of Liberty Library fans who are deeply unsettled by the company's logo, which would appear after the credits on each episode. I was terrified of the little girl in the EDUC82U logo. She looked like some kind of demon doll. I'd race the TV every day to switch the dial before a creepy laugh came on. You know, Liberty Library web ring only has 3 entries. Cricket York joined the cast in 1997 at the age of 5 and is still listed as a current cast member. Okay, hold on. Actor. Is this going to be the rest of them? It might be. Cricket and her brothers. Okay. Actually. EDUC82U. I got it. I wish I could see his fucking name. Look at this! Look at this guy! Hey, cuz, how you doing? Okay. Fuck. Tony, Mark, and Cricket. Fuck me, guys. Shit. How is this like This is like impossible. Fuck. Okay. Wait, what? How did I find the thing about Sherry? That was the article. That was the Beauty and the Brat. Okay. No, wait, what? Oh, this one. And then it was this. Yeah, here we go. Creativity. Beauty was always there too. Sherry Rostomsky. Sherry has a large van, and on weekends she can bring the style of Brittany, Christina, or even Rachel to your door. She became a widow. They built a charity together. Became a widow, built a charity together. So this is like, this is super important, I think. They built a charity together, but I have to find out what the charity was. Gotta be connected, right? Sangamon counties, where you can tell. It's some basic searching. Yeah, no. Okay. Let's see. Where did I start with all this? This one. Chris Elmsworth. Okay. Do I just need to go back and like look at everything? Because I'm just like, I'm throwing spaghetti at the wall here trying to find Vic Elmsworth. Okay. That's a different name. No, this is not what I'm... Here we go. Is there anyone else in this picture? Barb, corporate retreats, church events, school assemblies, customize her audience for her message for any audience. Okay. Greta Jones. We already got her. Kiowa Falls Gazette doesn't exist, but maybe we can find Vic Elmsworth, possibly. And then Isabel Crosby. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do this really quick. No. Benton County. And Isabel Crosby, according to the flyer on Barb Williams' website, is superintendent of Benton County. There's Benton County in 9 different states. There hasn't been a Benton County in Florida since 1850, so you're not sure which one Isabel Crosby comes from. Searching for Isabel Crosby doesn't lead anything. Vic Elmsworth, according to his own personal page, is apparently one of 3 brothers. All 3 of them are contributors to a newspaper called the Kekawa Falls Gazette, tend to focus more on the southeastern United States. All the articles he's written are archived on his site, including the long-form version of the review for Barb Williams' motivational show. Okay. Maybe this gives me more info. According to Victor, he'd seen Barb talk more than once. On this particular occasion, Barb's talk was at a very large church, and it was... Okay, so this is leading to the church talk. Okay. It was clear that she was an expert at matching the presentation of her concepts for any particular crowd. Because she received a standing ovation, Barb started with a story about loss, specifically the loss of a bicyclist who had been hit by a car. She spoke about the death of any person as darkness and their loved ones, a cold, empty void that begins to creep into a space where there once was light. Because the light could never return exactly how it once was, she says the only option is to nurture new sources of light to help fight back against the darkness. Her conclusion was that finding the hidden meanings in tragedy is the most important thing we can do. She used multiple biblical comparisons and finished by looping back around to her initial story about how she personally began to come around to this ideology. The biker who died was her son-in-law. How? And the Lanes Across America charity was created to fill the newfound darkness. Oh! It's her sister's husband. Okay. Lanes Across America. If the charity was the light that began to fill the void, she was doing everything she could to help nurture it. Lanes Across America, or LAA's charity, focused on adding bike lanes to major cities. The pages and pages of news articles that mention Lanes Across America have a similar summary in them. LAA, formerly LAM, was founded in 1987 after the death of Drew Smith. Okay. Drew was biking home from work when he was hit by a car. Each year since, Lanes Across America has grown, and now they have offices over 12 major metropolitan areas, including Miami, where the charity began. Has a picture of Drew. Okay. Lanes Across Miami, maybe? Searching for Lanes Across Miami does narrow down the pages you are found earlier to more in-depth history. LAM was founded in 1987, founded by Sharon Smith after the death of her husband. Okay. So... Andrew Smith. Right? Because Drew is short for Andrew. Okay, yeah. Drew Smith was founded after the death of... Yep, and then this is... Who the fuck are these people? And never mind, we know. This is Peter Yastrzemski. This is Andrew Smith. This is her mother, sister. Her mother's sister. Sister mother. And I guess this would mean their last name is Smith as well. So Smith. Smith. Did I get this right? I don't think I did. Fuck me. Did I just forget one person's job? Is Drew always short for Andrew? Shit, fuck. This should be good. One of the oldest articles is a full and crop version of the same wedding photo. They begin to crop her and the rest of the wedding party out of the photo to focus solely on Drew, who is the face of the charity. Full photo has been added to your inventory. Okay. That's fine. But how did I fuck this? Because I don't know. This has to be right, doesn't it? What am I missing? Maybe the kids have the wrong photo. No. I'm thinking maybe the husband's names are wrong. Nope. Oh, this was what I had wrong. I didn't click the right person. I didn't click the right person in the picture. I'm stupid. There we go. Yeesh. Nice. Okay. Locked in the following optional entries.
Hi again. I know you probably thought you were done. But it turns out what you're doing here might have some pretty major repercussions on the family tree.
Again. Also, there's something really strange happening. I can't explain it.
Neither of us can.
I'd call it a simple misunderstanding, but it's digging at the pit of my stomach. I just have a feeling. Clark?
Last week, let's just say being the president, sometimes people bring me things.
Just skip to the important part.
Right. One of our janitors brought me some hair she'd found in Ruby Spratt's trash. It was Bonnie Hudson's.
That's fucking weird.
Bonnie is Guy's sister. She'd sent us her hair to test potential Roottrees, since her DNA is closest to Guy's. But Ruby threw it out, and I wasn't sure why she would have done that. Especially right before we began testing the tree you provided. When I asked, she told me she thought the samples needed to be fresh every time they did a test.
It seems really odd. Ruby was the one who convinced us to do DNA testing in the first place. She seemed so knowledgeable. I don't like it. You've done more of a deep dive on these people than anybody else has. Clark will keep a closer eye on the DNA tests from now on. You have an eye for anomalies. We need you to find the smoking guns.
If there's anyone you're 100% positive can't be a Roottree,
or any you've got definitive evidence are Roottrees, then we might be able to catch Ruby in a lie.
Are you fucking me right now? Are you fucking me right now? Do I for real have to go back through this entire fucking family tree and figure out who was and wasn't a fucking Roottree? Are you kidding me right now? I did all of this work. I did all of this work, and some of these fuckers aren't Rootrees. Oh, fuck. They could literally just test all of them. It would not actually be hard. It would not actually be hard to test all of these people. We have all their identities. This is... Okay. I hate this. I hate this so much. I don't think that Min Lang is a root tree. Because if she did... What? I haven't found this clue yet. What are you talking about? Oh my god. This links me to... This tells me exactly what fucking clues I found and didn't find. Oh, this leads to Anonymon. Oh my god. Just when I thought the game was like getting to be over,